Hi, I bought a 2008 CTS 4 with a knock on the engine. So I decided to remove the engine. Okay, so since I'm in a garage that has no lift, I'm going to try to do it old school and pull it out the top and leave the transmission in place. So no videos on YouTube for that kind of stuff. So here I am, my first video. How to anyways. First I removed the valve covers and the intake and unhooked all the harness, hooked all the sensors and that. Okay, then I did my compression check, check my timing. The timing marks are all good. And so I was trying to determine if it was clacking or knocking, but it really sounds more like a knocking. So after that, I decided to create access and I removed the catalytic converters. And that was easy. It's like a 15 mil bolt facing up. So you do it from the top with a U-joint, a couple of extensions, half-inch drive because they're kind of tight. And at the bottom, it doesn't look stock, but that's what hooked up the exhaust pipes. That came off easily. And an interesting fact, this car's just jacked up in two spots. The back is actually on its wheels. And it's not lifted very high, but I was able to slide from underneath and get a lever, the two cats out just like that. It was like surprising. Usually you have to jack the car high. So that came out. Then I took out it's a CTS 4, so I took out the front drive shaft. That was easy, and it protrudes more at the back, so you need to take the front out. There's kind of a cup that covers up to here on the front differential, so you got to sort of pry it out a little bit, and it comes out fairly easy, and then it pops out the back forward. Once these things are removed, you get a lot of access. And I was able to get to the starter, which I needed to remove also. This bolt you can take out from underneath. Here it's couldn't really see what it was. The wire went in. So by pulling out the starter and twisting it around, I was able to see there's a push part clip on the connector and pull the wire out. And then pull the starter out. That created a whole bunch of room for the next step, which was getting these harnesses out. So first, this is the driver's side harness because it loops over. And behind near the brakes, you got two big plugs, which came out fairly easily. Then that's the oxygen sensor for the rear cylinder, driver's side, ground, the coils we took off earlier. And the interesting part is when you get more forward, this is the cam stuff, the MAF. And I don't remember what that was. This is for the the oil canister. I think the oil filter's in there. Then the part that becomes is a bit of a headache is this is harness snakes from the front of the engine down, going to the air conditioning compressor. This was the thing that took me the longest, unplugging this thing, because I didn't really know what this plug was doing and where it was, because it's hidden. This goes into the compressor, air conditioning, and it sits like this behind, and I didn't see that there was just a push thing here, and you pull the back out. So you could do it by sliding a little screwdriver. It's basically where I'm holding it now. And once I figured out how to do that, then this pulled out, and then you continue to go under the car. And this is for the steering. This is a knock sensor, and this is the famous starter solenoid clip thing that you have to pull out, but you probably won't be able to reach it when the starter's in place. Okay, then you just pull all this stuff out, and you got basically your driver's side free. And then it's sort of the same story for the passenger side. You got your coils and The harder part is the front section here, which goes underneath. And this goes to the alternator. This is the exciter for the alternator. Then it comes down the front. Both of the harnesses go down in the front, and they both snake back behind. And this is another knock sensor. And finally, this is sort of an RPM thing. I guess it's a sensor for revs of something or other. I don't know where it goes. It goes inside the oil pan, I guess, because it was covered in oil. They must measure rotation of a spot on the crankshaft, possibly. Anyways, I'll see when I take the engine apart. So to get all that out wasn't so bad. Like I said, the hardest part was the air conditioning connector. And surprisingly so, I did this without even removing the wheels. The access is all from underneath once the two catalytics are removed. My next job is now to remove the wheels and get the half shafts out and all the bolts around the transmission. I suppose the biggest challenge usually is getting the torque converter bolts off the flywheel, and I'm guessing that it's going to be through the starter hole, but I'll have to see. All right, so up to now it's going good until I find out that I can't go any further, but we're not there yet. All right, thanks for watching.